I'm Joshua Ajita.
And I'm Sarah Soul Ajita.
Today we're going to be talking about the quantum theater. And this is a very precious, interesting, weird, and wild modality that we use to achieve certain things. We're going to talk about what it's for, why you might be able to benefit from it, how we use it, and we're going to try to do that in under 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
So.
And I learned being a part of Joshua's life, I've also been involved in the quantum theater for a number of years. Kind of unavoidable being around you.
Yeah. I created it under a different name about 13 years ago. And so I've facilitated hundreds of quantum theater sessions for people, for myself, and it's a very powerful tool for, let's talk about the purpose of it, is for processing the subconscious mind, or you could say resolving inner conflict, becoming more whole, creating integrity.
Great. And what does the general structure of a quantum theater session look like?
Yeah, well, so it starts with finding out what your goal is, which is, typically when I'm facilitating this for somebody in like a therapeutic capacity, it's like, what's happening in your life? Like this person is, I'm in conflict with this person in my life, or this situation is not working out for me, or blah, 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 whatever it is. And so from that circumstance, we look for a polarity. We look for like, if every time I walk by this house, this dog barks at me and it's really upsetting, then it might feel like rejection. So the polarity might be like acceptance and rejection. Or if every time I try to use the computer and I feel stupid, the polarity might be, smart and stupid. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it's extracting what the polarity is from the situation and especially how you relate to it specifically. And so then the next step is you take the aspect of the polarity, which is the most foreign to how you think about things. It's the most foreign to your identity, and that helps to identify what the shadow is, what your subconscious belief is that you need to embody in the quantum theater. It turns it into a magical theater because you're embodying something that normally is out of your awareness.
Okay. So just a second. So taking the example of if the polarity we're working with is acceptance and rejection. So then if I am the client, you would invite me to embody whichever one I was least comfortable with. So in my case, it would be acceptance, actually, because I'm really comfortable with rejection and self-rejection, and that's kind of the loop that I can be stuck in. So actually, as I entered into the quantum theater, I would embody acceptance.
Yeah.
And that would be the shadow.
Yeah, or there's fear of rejection and there's desire for rejection. So you could also embody desire for rejection, because that's something that might be also foreign to you.
Okay.
Right. But the thing here is, we're talking about a therapeutic capacity, but the quantum theater can also be used for other purposes. It could be used for writing a screenplay. It could be used for creating a preparation for something important, like a public speech, or for an important business conversation, or whatever it is. Right? So it can be used to neutralize an emotional charge for any purpose.
And thereby really decreasing the likelihood of self-sabotage.
Yeah, exactly. Because you are familiarizing yourself with the personality fracture that would create that self-sabotage.
Right, exactly. And also at the same time, mining your unconscious and bringing the shadow, bringing the unconscious into the conscious, which is retrieving your power, frankly. Yeah. It's bringing more of yourself online. So that really supports your creativity.
Yeah, exactly. Because fear is inverted power. And so if you're able to experience the fear and stop rejecting the fear, then you can make that disowned power accessible. You can own it, and then you have more of yourself. You have more wholeness through which you can approach any activity.
Awesome. Yep. Okay, so we've established the polarity. We've assigned what role or what character I'm going to play as client and you're going to play as facilitator. And then what happens?
And then we dive into a scene, right? So we set up a scene that's specifically like, okay, you're going to play this role, I'm going to play this role, and they're intentionally like at odds in some way. They're juxtaposed. And then we put these two characters together and let the magic of the tension work itself out through theater.
Mm-hmm. And improv.
And improv theater. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you don't know where it's going to go, but if you stick with the process, then it'll go somewhere useful. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is in our lives, in our ordinary consciousness, we usually, when we get to like a awkward spot energetically, we'll tend to try to escape it. We'll try to become productive or do something that will give us some dopamine hit or run away from that awkwardness. And so what's interesting is in the quantum theater, there's always some kind of awkward period, and it's by sticking with that the transformation actually occurs.
Right, because that's precisely the part that you haven't fully integrated yet. So you get through the situation that you're acting out in a really clunky way, like, but that's the actual rebuilding of a new like mental pathway.
Yeah, exactly. It's building you. It's building your will in a new area that normally you don't have access to. Mm-hmm. And so to stick with it, it just takes a little bit of oomph, it takes a little bit of commitment mm-hmm. to get past this awkward hump, and then it turns into, you find out what the story is really about mm-hmm. with these characters. Mm-hmm. One character might be forgiving another, or one character might be learning what the relationship is really about, that it's like they have this aha moment. Some kind of shift happens. And you don't know what it's going to be setting out, but you know that you're going to intend for that. And it happens every time as long as everyone sticks with it, lets all of the characters involved say everything they need to say, don't break character so that mm-hmm. you can like really honor the experience. And it's like magic.
Yeah, and those are the only, what you just mentioned, those are the only ground rules, right?
Well, the only other one is don't let your normal identity be offended by anything that happens in the quantum theater, because it's meant to be a little bit strange, awkward, maybe prickly, maybe triggering in some way. And so if you let your typical trigger interrupt the process, it prevents whatever it is that's being worked through.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you have these very simple ground rules, you have this very simple structure, and then you allow the improv, the magic to just come through within that framework. Yeah,
exactly. And what's so cool about it is there's a felt sense of what you're tapping into. Something is new, something is different, something is foreign, mm-hmm. right? If it just feels ordinary, it's not doing anything for you, right? our nervous system tends to tag foreign experiences as dangerous or foreign energies as dangerous. And so that means that we tend to tag familiar things, familiar energies as safe. And so we can make a very familiar energy that is like addictive or abusive or whatever, that could be marked as safe because it's familiar. Mm-hmm. But then the actual healthy energy that we're missing, which is good for us, which is actually safe, can be marked by the nervous system as foreign, and so it's regarded as strange. We have an aversion. We're avoidant of what actually is healthy for us. So this kind of reorients that whole thing.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity to actually feel in a very embodied, real way what an alternate version of living your life could be.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Another version of yourself.
Yeah, and it's not like the content of the scene doesn't really matter, mm-hmm. but it's the energy. You're practicing the energy that's been disregarded, and that's an energy that you need in your life. Or if you're using the quantum theater for writing, right? We have the story weaving strategy, which is our approach to writing, and it's a 4-step strategy, and the quantum theater is step 2. And so if you're using this for writing, it's potentially an energy that not just you need, but your character in the story needs, mm-hmm. right? And if you think about it, like a movie, a really good movie, a really well done movie, is a processing system, right? You walk into a movie, you feel different when you leave, if it's a really good movie. You know, it's a processing system. Stories are processing systems. So the quantum theater is a processing system to digest unprocessed material, unprocessed emotion, and leave you better, leave you more whole, leave you more grounded than when you started. And you can really, when you do it right, you can really feel the difference.
And really feel the shift. Yeah, I can speak to that. Well, I have just one more question for you. I think this was a great introduction. Why is the quantum theater so important to you? Why do you love it so much, just on a personal level?
You know, I do it alone when I need a shift, when I have energy of inner conflict, when something is stuck inside of me. I have some kind of childhood wounding, or I have some kind of repressed emotion. I have something that's bothering me. You know, our tendency is to try to change things externally, try to change this person's mind, try to control this thing, try to fix this thing. But in reality, it's my emotions I'm uncomfortable with. So the quantum theater is an amazing way to take responsibility for my internal experience instead of becoming fixated on trying to change the external world. And so it's extremely empowering for me, is why I'm so, devoted to this practice.
Yeah, and even after all these years, you keep with it.
Yeah, I did a session in the car by myself a couple days ago.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to share right off the bat?
I don't think so, but it's a topic that I love to talk about, and so there are different kind of offerings that we have that either facilitate quantum theater or provide trainings to create facilitators. So yeah, feel free to contact us and let us know if you have some kind of interest in this, and we're gonna be integrating this into more of our offerings and more context, because this is just a processing system, but our other offerings are the application of it in different contexts. So that's what makes it really interesting, is how flexible it is, how much it can be used for various different goals.
Right. And the quantum theater technology is the core
Yeah.
that then we apply in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching.
you.
And see you in the next video. Okay.